Hello and welcome to TradeFlow Television,
bringing you valuable analysis and actionable intelligence
through the global commodity markets.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Argentina's barley exports to China are set to soar to a record 1 million ton in 2021, industry sources and sales data show, as Beijing looks beyond its traditional top supplier Australia amid a lengthy diplomatic standoff between the two countries. The sales bonanza, revealed by industry sources in Argentina and China, underscores how the South American grains powerhouse is plugging the supply gap that opened last year after diplomatic tensions led China to slap a 80.5% tariff on Australian barley. Export declarations, filed to Argentina's Ministry of Agriculture, show that already 1.1 million tons of barley has been sold year to date, which traders said was almost all going to the world's second-largest economy.
Iraq has decided to freeze its first crude oil prepayment deal, which had aimed to boost its finances. Because oil prices are rising, the country's oil minister told BBC Arabic on Sunday. "We had concerns that oil prices would not rise above $40 when we announced this deal for the first time in the history of Iraq," Iraq's oil minister Hassan Abdul-Jabbar told the channel. Brent crude has been trading above $60 a barrel recently. Asked about the status of the prepayment crude oil deal, Abdul-Jabbar said, "With the start of this year and the economic stability resulted from boosted oil prices, we decided to freeze this option."
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Oil prices rose on Monday on a slow return of U.S. crude output cut by frigid conditions, and as an approaching meeting by top producers is expected to keep production largely reined in, pointing to tight global supply. Brent crude was up $1.72, or 2.7%, at $64.63 a barrel by 15:15 GMT, after gaining nearly 1% last week. U.S. oil rose $1.87, or 3%, to $61.11 a barrel, having fallen 0.4% last week. Abnormally cold weather in Texas and the Plains states forced the shutdown of up to 4 million barrels per day, BPD, of crude production along with 21 billion cubic feet of natural gas output, analysts estimated.
The share of Canada and the United States of America in India's January oil imports surged to a record 11% while that of the Middle East and South America declined, data obtained from sources showed. Asia's third-largest economy imported about 4.8 million barrels per day (BPD) oil in January, a decline of 6% from the previous month and marginally higher than a year earlier. India's imports from Canada and the United States almost doubled from December to 142,000 barrels of oil per day and 367,000 barrels of oil per day, respectively. The United States emerged as the fourth biggest supplier to India after the United Arab Emirates. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Gold rose more than 1.5% to a near one-week high on Monday, despite a jump in U.S. Treasury yields, as expectations for rising inflation triggered equity valuation concerns and drove investors towards the safe haven metal. Spot gold was up 1.6% at $1,810.45 an ounce by 11:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, after hitting its highest since February 16 in the session. U.S. gold futures gained 1.8% at $1,810. U.S. benchmark 10-year Treasury yields hit a near one-year high, increasing the opportunity cost of holding non-yield.
The global nickel market surplus rose to 14,600 tons in December from an upwardly revised surplus of 7,400 tons in the previous month. Data from the International Nickel Study Group, INSG, showed on Monday. Last year, the global market saw a surplus of 122,900 tons compared with a deficit of 32,200 tons in 2019, Lisbon-based INSG added.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
Saudi Arabia's state grain buyer Sago said on Monday it has agreed to import 355,000 tons of wheat at an average price of $330.04 per ton from Saudi Arabian-owned farms in Australia, Canada and Ukraine for delivery from May to December 2021. Sago had not issued an international tender for wheat. SAGO Governor Ahmed Al-Fayez said in a statement that the Saudi Agricultural and Livestock Investment Company, SALIC, won a tender to supply hard wheat of 12.5% from Saudi investments abroad. That is all for today's news on the commodity market. Stay tuned to TradeFlow TV as we continue to provide you with more updates. You can also follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow TV1, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop.